I'm Adam Anshel for Pro Football Weekly with a look at the top overachievers in this year's draft presented by Verizon Fios. I'm joined by our draft expert, Nolan Nawrocki. Nolan, we start with a couple of guys on the defensive side of the ball. One of them first-round pick, one of them maybe a little. Tell us about Kerrigan and Acho.
Well, the thing about Kerrigan, he didn't test out very well at the combine. He's jumped 33.5 inches in the vertical jump. Doesn't show up heavily off the edge. He's not an explosive edge rusher. But you put on a tape and you just see him getting after the ball. He gets after it so hard. He's so relentless. And I think he really stands out that way. It's why he grades out as a second-round pick. He's going to go in the first. Same story with Sam Acho. I think he grades out more like a third to fourth-round pick. But he's so safe, so solid, so smart, he's so effortless. I think he's going to wind up in the second round as well.
A couple more guys to look at. One comes a running back, a small guy but performed well at Oregon State, and also Andy Dalton, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, but I don't know if everyone knows how well he'll translate to the NFL game.
Yeah, Jacquizz Rodgers really stands out for his effort. I think working between the tackles, you don't see a lot of explosive big play runs. He only ran 4.64 at the combine. Ran a little bit better his pro day, but he's a guy that has rare intangibles. You know what you're going to have in the locker room. He's extremely competitive. And I think teams are going to feel very comfortable with him from that standpoint. Dalton, I think the arm talent and the athletic ability are very average, but you see him on the board, you see him what he can do mentally, how he can grasp the game, just the smarts, the competitiveness, and I think that's what's going to push him up, potentially even into the late first round.
I think winning helps too. You saw Dalton, he played 4 years and he won consistently. That's always something people are looking for in quarterbacks. Two more guys to look at, two guys that squared off in the BCS championship game last year on either sides of the ball.
Yeah, Casey Matthews from Oregon is, he's a solid inside linebacker, but he's got very short arms. He's always going to have some limitations. Not an explosive player, but he's always around the ball, and I think teams will feel comfortable with him because of that. Lee Ziemba, he's been a 4-year starter in the SEC. Throughout that, he's duck-footed and unathletic and doesn't look the part. This guy, he's got the job done for 4 straight years, played on both the right and left sides, and I think he's going to be able to do the same thing in the NFL as well.
When you're playing against that kind of competition week in, week out, and you hold up well, it says a lot about you. That is a look at the most overachieving players in this year's draft. For the best draft coverage around, be sure to follow us on Twitter or go to ProFootballWeekly.com.